batiddewo abantu 10 nga babattira munda mu nnyumba nga tebalina ku luguudo, babatidde munda omwo mu nnyumba. Badde banoonya nze luleme okugula ne bajja bagezeeko bagule ne balukuba amasasi n'endowooza bwe lweggudde ate ne bakitegeera nti bamaze okutta abantu wawona bwabadde emirambo abantu 10 nga bamaze obbatta.
Asaso yayise unogonna musaayi
awo ne baddamu ne bakola rawundi y'amasasi amangi ennyo okumala eddakiika nga 15. Oyinza okulowooza wano waliwo Kenya yalumbye Uganda.
It is now approaching 2 weeks since the former Butambala County Member of Parliament and National Unity Platform Vice President for the Central Region, Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi, was last seen in public. His disappearance has become one of the most talked about political developments in Uganda, raising difficult questions about accountability, the rule of law, and the responsibilities of state security agencies. Today, one question continues to dominate political debate across the country. Where is Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi? According to his family and legal team, Muwanga Kivumbi has not been seen since July 10, 2026. They allege that after spending the night at his ancestral home in Butambala district following his release on bail, he began his journey back to Kampala the following day. It is during that journey that the events took a dramatic turn. His lawyers say that Muwanga Kivumbi's vehicle was stopped at a police checkpoint and military roadblock near Mpigi. They claim armed security personnel intercepted him before forcing him into an unmarked vehicle, commonly referred to by many Ugandans as a drone. The vehicle, they say, then drove away to an unknown destination.
Bosco.
Since that moment, neither his family nor his lawyers have had any contact with him. They maintain that they do not know where he's being held, who is holding him, or under what legal authority.
I left early and I did notify you as going to court to secure the release of the Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi as one of the sureties, and he was granted bail. The following day, on Friday, he was en route to Kampala and he was intercepted and taken by armed men in a Toyota Habeas vehicle, popularly known as a drone. That was Friday, Mr. Speaker. Today is Tuesday. His family has been looking for his whereabouts, and the rest of us colleague leaders. Now, my questions to government are twofold. Number one, where is the Honorable Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi? Number two, is this the new normal? Because it's important that we know. Is this the new normal of how government will, they call it arrest? We call it an abduction because, Mr. Speaker, the law stipulates what an arrest is in Article 23 of our country's constitution. The Attorney General is here. He's a very senior lawyer. In fact, he has lectured most of the lawyers in town. Article 23 is very succinct. How somebody gets to be arrested, where they are taken, to police first, and thereafter, within 48 hours, produced in court. Mr. Speaker, I have seen some people say that Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi was picked up because of a tough speech he gave when he went back to his constituency. Now, that's problematic on two fronts. One, who determines that what he said was illegal? I thought it's a court of law. Who gets to determine that? Let's even imagine, Mr. Speaker, for argument's sake, that he said anything that is ultra-vires. Who determines that? I thought it's a court of law that does. Government has several times been urging the population to avoid mob justice. And on that front, I agree with government. Government officials, police, and so on, they say when you catch somebody, even if you catch them in an act, never mind that sometimes it's mistaken identity and somebody gets beaten, yet they've done nothing wrong. But that even if you catch somebody, whether stealing something of yours or whatever the case might be, government has been telling the population, take those people to police. Don't beat them up. And on that regard, I agree with government. So why doesn't government do the same thing it tells people to do? We need to stop preaching water and yet we drink wine. If you're telling people, if you catch somebody, they've stolen your money, your whatever, take to police, please don't beat. Why isn't government doing the same? If you assume that somebody has broken the law, produce them in court. It's now been 4 days, Mr. Speaker. We don't know where Honorable Muwanga Kivumbi is, and we do hear, I've seen some pictures on social media, I don't know if they are authentic. Bruises, blood, I don't know. And the only way that can be cleared is when we get to know where he is. Mr. Speaker, you see, we were here in September of 2021. Again, some who are saying it's because of what he said. Honorable Segirinya Muhammad and Honorable Alan Sewanyana were granted bail by court. As they were getting out of Kigo prison, outside the gates of Kigo prison, they were abducted. They had not said anything anywhere. In June of 2024, the Honorable Paul Akamba, who were here with him in the 11th Parliament, he was granted bail. He was abducted within court precincts. So the Attorney General needs to help us understand. Number one, where is Honorable Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi? He needs to be accounted for. But number two, is this the new normal? Have we now veered off what the law does stipulate, learned Attorney General?
As the uncertainty grew, the matter moved from the political arena into the courtroom. Muwanga Kivumbi's family petitioned the High Court in Kampala, seeking one of the oldest legal remedies available under the law, a writ of Habeas Corpus. Now, a writ of habeas corpus is a court order requiring anyone believed to be detaining another person to produce that individual before a court and justify the legality of the detention. It is designed to protect individuals against unlawful imprisonment and to ensure that no person can simply disappear into custody without legal process. This application was filed before the Civil Division of the High Court. Justice Collins Achelam presided over the matter. The respondents include the Inspector General of Police and the Chief of Defense Forces. Now, on Tuesday, the court had arguments from both sides before reserving its final decision. This ruling is expected to be delivered electronically through the Electronic Case Court Management Information System, commonly referred to as ECMIS. Before the court, the Inspector General of Police opposed the application. The police response was presented through an affidavit sworn by Assistant Commissioner of Police Godwin Tugumye on behalf of the Inspector General of Police. In that affidavit, the Uganda Police Force firmly denied having Muwanga Kivumbi in its custody. The police say that they neither arrested nor detained him following his release on bail. According to that affidavit, internal inquiries were conducted at relevant police stations and operational units across the force. Those inquiries, police say, found no record indicating that Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi had been arrested or detained at any police facility from July 10th up to the present time. The Inspector General of Police further argues that the application before the court lacks sufficient evidence. According to the police, the applicant has not produced documentary evidence, witness testimony, or any other material proving that Uganda Police Force is responsible for Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi's disappearance. The police further argue that a writ of habeas corpus cannot be granted merely on allegations. Instead, they say that the law requires credible evidence showing that the respondent is actually detaining the individual concerned. On that basis, the Inspector General of Police, Abbas Byakagaba, is asking the High Court to dismiss the application and award costs against the applicants. However, the hearing has also revealed another significant development. Although the Chief of Defense Forces is named as one of the respondents in the application, lawyers informed the court that no response had been filed on behalf of the military by the close of Tuesday's hearing. That means, at least for now, only the police have formally responded to the allegations before court. Meanwhile, Muwanga Kivumbi's legal team continues to insist that their client was indeed rearrested shortly after regaining his freedom on bail. Their application is supported by an affidavit sworn by his elder brother, Haji Musa Lutaya. In that affidavit, Lutaya recounts the family's version of events. He says Muwanga Kivumbi spent the night at their ancestral home in Butambala after being released on bail. The following day, while traveling back to Kampala, his vehicle allegedly encountered a security checkpoint near Mpigi. According to that application, uniformed officers together with plain-clothed military personnel ordered Muwanga Kivumbi out of his vehicle. The affidavit alleges that those officers did not identify themselves. It further claims that they did not produce an arrest warrant. Nor, according to the family, did they explain why he was being taken into custody. Instead, that application states that Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi was bundled up into an unmarked van and driven away. From that point onward, his lawyers argue that he has been held in incommunicado. They say he has not been allowed to access members of his family, he has not met his lawyers, nor, they argue, has he been allowed to access medical personnel. Most importantly, they contend that he has never been presented before any court within the constitutional 48-hour period required for any arrested person. It is on these grounds that his legal team is asking the High Court to intervene. They want the court to compel the respondents to produce Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi before a judge. If the court determines that his detention was unlawful, they are asking that he be released immediately and unconditionally. His disappearance comes amongst the backdrop of an ongoing criminal case. Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi is one of the 17 individuals facing terrorism charges connected to alleged attacks during the January 2026 general elections. According to the prosecutors, those attacks targeted Chibibi Police Station and the Butambala Electoral Commission Tally Center. The prosecution alleges that 11 people lost their lives during those incidents and that significant damage was caused to public property. Kivumbi and all his co-accused have denied the charges. The criminal proceedings remained before the courts. As the legal battle over his whereabouts continue, attention now shifts back to the High Court. Its decision on the Habeas Corpus application could determine the next stage in this unfolding case. If the application is guaranteed, the respondents may be required to produce Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi before court or explain under oath what they know about his whereabouts. If this application is dismissed, his family and legal team will have to consider what legal options remain available. Beyond the courtroom, however, the questions surrounding Muwanga Kivumbi's disappearance continue to resonate across Uganda's political landscape. Supporters are demanding answers. Security agencies maintain that they are not holding him, and with each passing day, uncertainty grows. For now, the central question remains unanswered. Where is Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi? The High Court's ruling, expected through the Electronic Court Case Management Information System, may provide the next important chapter in a case that continues to attract national attention. Until then, the search for answers will continue. Uganda Radio Network will continue to follow every development in this story and keep you updated as new information emerges. If you found this special report informative, don't forget to like this video, leave your comment below, and subscribe to our channel and share this report such that others can stay informed. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay safe.